Now,
Morning, Facebook, Instagram. It's Coach Derek with my man.
you getting some feedback over there?
Is that
Yeah, I
me?
can hear y'all. I can hear y'all.
Okay.
This morning we have Professional Kenneth Allen. What's going on, bro?
Hey, how y'all doing? What's going on?
Good, man. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank
As
y'all.
you can see, we mastered this technology. So
Yeah.
It's your last
what's
name
up,
Allen?
man?
And your middle name is Ray?
Yeah, Lil Ray.
Ray. Is that any connection to Ray Allen? They named you after Ray Allen?
Yeah, that's my name, Ray Allen.
Yeah. But
Oh, you talking about the great
basketball
great Boston Celtics?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. That's a good name to have.
From the original Big Three.
The original Big Three.
Yeah.
Ray, what's going on, brother? How many what gym you fight at? Who's your trainer, man? When you started boxing?
I'm training at a main boxing gym, with Coach Dwight.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's my dude, Pritchard, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I like that guy, man. Your amateur background was with him or what? You got an amateur background?
Yeah, I won I won 2 Golden Glove tournaments, the Horn tournaments. I won all the tournaments.
Okay. And how long you been professional?
5 years, 4 years.
Okay.
Now he got a funny story. I want to know. Tell us how you started boxing, bro, because it's pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I used to always be horse playing around with my friends, and then one of the club owners used to come to the gym, and he was like, "Man, you should come and fight at the club. Since you always playing around, play fighting anyway, and I'll pay you." And then I started going to the club and started fighting at the club every week, every Tuesday, and I was fighting, beating people up. And then one of my good friends was like, "Man, you need to start fighting for real and stop playing." Because I never thought about fighting, and then I just got into fighting.
Coach, you ever been to a spot like that where they fighting underground?
When I first at home, but when I first, I'm about to ask you because I'm sitting here trying to think. When I first got to Houston, y'all can hear me good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
When I first got to Houston, man, it was a club that was, man, they was even promoting the shit like on the radio. I can't remember the name of the club, but they was talking about fighting, and they was always fighting. I never went. I'm talking like 2001, 2, 3. I can't remember the name of the club, man, but they was doing that fighting that night. I don't know what the prizes was. What club you was going to where they was fighting?
Man, what's the name of that club? It was a strip club, but they turned it into like a boxing every Tuesday, a boxing night.
They used to have, and I don't know him, and I think he had some pro fights after, but they used to have a dude they was calling Fifth Ward something. Fifth Ward.
So what's this?
Huh?
Fifth Ward Billy?
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Third Ward Billy.
They used to be on the radio talking about the fights going down, Fifth Ward Billy and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I was new to Houston. And I said, man, I gotta find this shit, man. But I never did go searching for it, and come to find out. My old damn fighter was going fool with that shit when he first started out. But so a lot of people in Houston, bro, started fooling with that. I guess you would call that underground boxing, underground fighting. So that's where you got your start. You just was.
What's that setup look like?
I mean, you had on smaller gloves. You had the headgear. You didn't have no mouthpiece.
Didn't have no mouthpiece.
No, you didn't have no
God
mouthpiece. And then you had like the fake ring, so you can lean on the ropes. So yeah, I did that for like 2 months, and then my good friend was like, "Man, I know a couple people in the boxing where I'm gonna introduce you to." And then from the first day, then I just started boxing, and I left the street boxing alone.
So how different was your impression when you were doing those 2 months of fighting in the club with no mouthpiece, smaller gloves, no damn ropes, and you get into a real boxing environment? Did you think, okay, well, yeah, this makes a little bit more sense?
Yeah, it was totally street fighting because I always knew how to fight street fight. But then when you go into boxing, it's totally different. It's different, it's technique, it's skill, it's endurance, and and they put you in the ring with guys that'll beat up on you. So it was totally different. So it was a process.
Hey, Coach, yesterday or earlier this week, somebody asked me, "Hey, man, so how does that work?" And I'm like, "Well, how does what work? Well, do you where do you go register?" And I'm like, "Register for what? For USA Boxing?" Or he's like, "No. I mean, register your hands. Don't you gotta like register your?" You got to register your like if you get into the street fighter show, you can't get into a street fight, huh? No, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, if you get into a street fight, like don't you have your hands registered? And I'm like, nah.
I believe the biggest
myth
in pugilism in boxing is, and it was invented by people who scared to fight.
Yeah.
Man, I used to. Tell me if y'all heard this before. I used to fight the Golden Glove. So I can't fight. I say you used to be a pussy. You still a pussy. That's what that is. But now, just like anything, if a guy sues you for assault because you knocked him out of the street or something, oh, best believe they're gonna say if you're a boxer, well, this guy's a boxer, and they're gonna try to prove you fucked over, but they still gotta prove an assault charge. It don't matter if you're it don't matter if you're a real fighter or a karate kid or whatever the fuck. You can defend yourself. This is America. You got the right to fucking defend yourself. So why you think how many times Tyson knocked people out in the street? I don't think he did time for fighting. So you got to approve this assault, man. You can't just still the motherfucker box don't mean he can't hit you. I'm sure Ray understand. Motherfucker gets too close, I'm gonna knock his dick in it. But yeah, man, I believe that's one of the biggest myths in boxing. That a fighter can't defend it. That's absurd. Don't you see these police? You would think somebody who can't assault nobody would do the can assault anybody they want.
Yep. Absolutely true.
So you went over to the gym, you got into the gym, you linked up with your coach. How was that?
It was a lot of hard work. It was just a lot of hard work, a lot of fundamental hard work.
So from the moment you got into the gym to your first fight, how much time did that take? Your first amateur fight?
It was quick, like 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was quick, and then they put me right into the Golden Gloves.
Nice.
Was your amateur fights with the white?
No, I was actually with my former manager, Jay, and they threw me straight into the Golden Gloves like within 6 months. I was just training, fundamental training. I don't even think I sparred. I probably sparred like twice.
Right.
And then I went in there and it was like the top guys in the Golden Gloves, and I beat them.
And this was in Houston. How was that at Greens Point?
Man, I forgot. It was like a while ago. It'd been a minute. It might have been in Greens Point.
Yeah.
It was a while ago.
Shout out to Ray Zaragoza. He's the one in charge of Golden Gloves. they're gonna be doing it again in February in Greens Point. So what was your amateur record looking like?
Every tournament I did, only fought one fight, so I'm only 7-0.
Nice.
So you know how you can you fight like 3 times in the Golden Gloves. I was only fighting I think twice, and then I fought 1 time. So I fought twice in the Golden Gloves, won that one, fought once, won that one, and then I won the Horn tournament, which I think I had to fight 3 times every day. So I only had 7 times.
How did you end up at Maine?
Oh, a good friend of mine's. We had like the same trainer manager, Jay. Regis Progress. Like he's a really good friend of mine. When he was pro, I was an amateur. You know what I'm saying? He used to give me a lot of game. So he ended up going to Maine boxing gym, and he ended up telling me after a while, come there. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then I ended up going there.
Are you talking about Jay from New Orleans, who was at Savannah's, a trainer?
Yes. Yes.
He's in management now, right? He still like the Regis, huh? Or no?
I think and sort of, but I don't think he's his manager anymore.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. Tall
light-skinned brother.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I forgot the next name.
Yes, from New Orleans. Yeah.
So you end up by Maine, and what was he training you at Maine?
No, he was already in management.
Oh, okay.
So he was already in management. So I went to Coach Dwight. And then from there,
start getting ready for the pros.
I think I was already pro when I went to Maine. No, yep. I turned pro when I went to Maine. Yep.
Okay. How did you find? What was the biggest difference between your amateur? You only had a couple fights, but between your amateur training, what you had to do, and then preparing yourself to fight professional, what did you find was the biggest difference?
The biggest difference.
Or was it the same for you?
No, it's not the same. You get to see the difference between amateur and professionalism, because amateurs everybody's almost on the same level, but when you get to the pros and as you getting better, you spawn guys that's 20-0, 15-0, guys that's 50 pounds heavier than you. So that's the difference.
So the
competition level goes up.
The level of competition is completely
goes all the way up. Yes.
Yeah. You said 5 years. How many fights you got right now?
I'm 6-0, five knockouts.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask you that. 5 years, 6 fights. Was it a reason? I mean, of course, this year was a wash for everybody. But so basically, six fights in 5 years. What's the reason for the inactivity, or is it just finding fights?
No, I was on hold for 3 years. I was actually in a legal battle. With the court system for since 2017.
Okay.
So that's just been and I'm finally done with that. That's been the whole up. That's it.
That's a good enough reason. Try to stay. Fuck that boxing, man. I'm trying to stay home. You fought? Didn't you fight at the baseball? At that next fight thing?
At Skeeter or Scooter or Skeet?
Yeah, Skeeters. I think the Skeeters.
Yeah. And sure,
how was that, man?
Oh no, that was a good experience. I like it.
It looked cool. They say I didn't go out there.
I like the way it looked. I think the weather was kind of it was cool that night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of windy at the end, towards the end of the night.
I think it's a good idea, and I think it's a good location But I really like when they do the shows at the Shiner Arena because it's a little bit more smaller. So when it gets packed, it gives you more energy. You lose some of that energy when you got that open field, unless that the stadium's fucking packed. But
Yeah.
hopefully one day they get to that stage. How has
Yeah.
it been? And like Coach said, this whole year has been a fucking wash for everyone. But how have you been handling the whole the COVID situation? Have you been training? What's your management been talking to you about? How what's your next fight lined up for? What are your plans?
Well, we're supposed to be fighting September 12th. Um, I don't, in hard times and trials and tribulation, I'm a man of God, so I just look at it like, whatever God wants, whatever it's gonna be is gonna be. I don't get too stressed out about it or, worry about it too much, about pretty much nothing. I just really leave everything in God's hand. But I just do a lot of training, working out 2 or 3 times a day, like always, with a fight or without a fight. I'm just continuing to try to elevate my game because the time is going to come eventually. So it's better to be prepared.
Who are some of the fighters that you like watching or you try to emulate or what style of boxing would you consider yourself to be?
Emulate. Um, Probably more of a old school. I'm an old school type of fighter. Probably just a little quicker, power wise, mentality wise. Probably like a Southern Liston, Rocky Marciano, hard work, like dedication and hard work wise, but more like a Southern Liston type of style. Just I believe a little quicker. But my favorites are like Ali and Mike Tyson, Canelo, them type of guys. So
Out of your 6 fights, you had 3 knockouts, so you got some power behind that punch, huh?
5 knockouts.
5 knockouts? My bad, my information.
Everybody went down. He just my first fight, he didn't stay down.
Oh, okay.
So
You a cruiserweight, huh, Rick?
yes, sir, cruiserweight.
Yeah, it's hard not to punch when you got a bunch of thrust behind you, bro.
Yeah.
You pity pat with the big boys, man. They gonna knock you out. I know for me, man, Sonny Liston, bro. In my mind, Sonny Liston probably had the best jab in boxing. I know it doesn't get said a lot. A lot of people don't pick up on, in boxing, you could learn a lot from a guy depending on how he answers questions, right? So a lot of guys, you ask them and they just regurgitate, what everybody else says. Like you say something about unappreciated, everybody says Larry Holmes. And I'm like, Larry Holmes is in everybody's top 10 ever in the history of boxing. Who the fuck don't know how great Larry Holmes is, man? But that caught on, like they caught on as a thing, so everybody says it. I say Larry Holmes because the best jab in the world is always Larry Holmes, everybody. But yet he's underrated. But everybody in the whole world says he's the best jab. I know for me, Sonny Liston, man, that jab, I don't think anybody got the extension and full power on the jab like that, man. That was like, it was like a 2x4 coming across, hitting somebody in the mouth, man. And Sonny Liston was a lot older than people realized when he was fighting. Man. A lot of people don't realize that. They think because he just got the title from Patterson that he was, still a young dude. Man, that dude probably 40 years old, man.
He was, yeah. I did some research. They still don't know how old he was.
No, they really don't. They really don't know how old he was. He was just. He was one of them old jailhouse. He probably used to lift car motors and shit.
Yeah.
Man. Sonny Liston. I'm a fan, man. My father told me about him too, Sonny Liston, man, how great he was. It was sad at the end, you know. But yeah, that's boxing.
That's
It's more
boxing.
sad stories than real stories, but
Yep.
I mean, than happy endings. But yeah, Sonny Liston, that's a great model. You know, when you look at correct fighting, you know, correct boxing.
Yep.
As a bad man, bro.
That's a bad man.
What do you think about this Tyson Roy Jones Jr. fight coming up?
Yeah, I love both of them guys. I love Roy Jones Jr., but he don't have a chance with Mike Tyson.
So
he don't have a chance.
So is it true that they have a no knockout rule?
I ain't hearing about that.
I heard there was a no knockout rule in the contract. And then what were they saying? Was it WBC? Them saying that they should wear headgear and 16-ounce gloves.
Well, that's not a real fight.
Right.
That's not a real fight then. I ain't hear that.
No, I mean they were trying to. I know they're not doing the headgear in the 16-ounce gloves, but I don't know. I think that no knockout rule is real. We'll find out.
The WBC don't have shit to do with it. They're just trying to make headlines. Somebody must have asked for something.
Yeah.
What kind of struck me on the fight was when I found out that Mike is supposed to be doing a league with these Thriller people, the people who's hosting the fight, you know, through their app. And come to find out, Mike's doing a Legends League where he plans on getting a bunch of old retired fighters competing. So that kind of let me know why they doing it. But hell, Mike, it ain't like Mike's gonna stick and move, bro. So he'll accidentally hurt Roy Jones. He'll accidentally keep punching and catching, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, I'm not a fan of Roy Jones, but I know how great he is, super fast, all that good shit. But man, he been knocked out by everybody, man. And if Tyson pitches a bitch for a round, you know, and not like he got motored around anyway. You know, people forget how them boys looked in their last fights, man. Mike was sitting on his ass, bro, with a dude who couldn't carry his motherfucking jockstrap 10 years before that. And Mike was like, man, fuck this. And he said it at the end. He was like, man, I shouldn't be boxing. I don't want to box. So, do they want to box? I hope they don't hurt each other. I don't want them to really try to hurt each other. But at the same time, man, you know, like they talk about boxing styles make fights. Listen, man, Tyson goes forward. And he slips going forward. That's his defense.
It's over.
And Roy Jones did everything wrong. So he got away with it because he was such a phenomenal athlete. But he was a phenomenal athlete in 20 years, man. So now maybe Roy leans into one, you know, with everything he got and catches Mike. Who knows? That's why I tell people, you can't predict this fight, man. You talking about two dudes in their 50s, man. You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
You don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah.
You don't know what's gonna happen, man. There's a lot of gas hopping around, you know. But it ain't like Roy Jones was ever a combination puncher. You know, he's a counter puncher. He wait for you to throw a punch so he can pot shot.
Yep.
And Mike's trained to throw 3 or 4 shots at a time. You know,
power shots. The
jabs just to close the distance and let them shots go around shots. So who knows what's gonna happen? I'm gonna watch it, but anybody saying, "Oh, this one's gonna win," who knows what's gonna happen?
I think it's good for boxing. Bring some energy back while everyone has been.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
They're gonna take my $50 my little 50. Coach Hyman says
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it just in case Mike sends his ass to the moon. I'm gonna watch it. I don't want this.
Coach Hyman says it's not going to be a fight. It's going to be more like a sparring session at that. More like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. has been doing.
I agree.
Yeah, man. So who else you like watching? What are the current fighters you like watching right now?
Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Canelo.
Who's your top heavyweight?
My top heavyweight. Now I know who is the top heavyweight. That's Fury. But my top heavyweight would be Wilder and Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you think, Ken? What you think should be Wilder's next move, man?
He got to go get that title back. He got to go get that belt back. He got to redeem himself. He can't go no other way but back to Fury.
He should go ahead and
ain't no running. He got to go get that back.
I don't know.
I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to try.
I think he's going to try. Fury a bad man, though. Fury a bad man.
I was watching a thing the other day on biblical history, right? And the Dead Sea Scrolls that they found, I forget when they found them, boy was chunking in the cave.
That's a conspiracy theory.
No, they found Dead Sea Scrolls in ancient.
Yeah. Now, I remember about 20 years ago, it used to be considered a conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah. They carbon dated it now. It goes back to like 300 pieces. I mean, only like a couple hundred years after Jesus left. But I say that to say this: the Dead Sea Scrolls, when they was talking about David and Goliath, the Dead Sea Scrolls conflict with the story we all been told. They were saying, like, the giant became bigger and bigger. As time went on, he was bigger and bigger and bigger, right? But the Dead Sea Scroll has him as like 4 cubits and something. And it equals to 6'9" of our measurements.
That's it.
And I said, when you stand next to a 6'9" guy, I'm 6'1", right? So if I'm standing next to a 6'9" guy, he's big. That's a big motherfucker. His shoulders are this wide. But the average man back then, 5'7", 5'8", right? Well, that's really a giant. He's really a giant. Is Shaquille O'Neal not a fucking giant? He's a giant. And so what I liked about that, if there's any validity to it, I'm sure it's on the scroll. They would, but I'm like, yeah, especially if David was not a warrior. He was a shepherd. But can you imagine that shepherd faced off against a 6'9" giant? And it immediately made me think of what I be telling people about Fury. I'm like, Fury's 6'9" and can box. It'd be different if he's 6'9" and a goofball. Can't move, can't do nothing. I said, this motherfucker's really a giant, bro, that could go backwards, forwards, however you want. And I enjoy Fury. I'm a Fury fan, but
I'm a Fury fan too.
I'm a ride. I'm gonna just watch it till he plays. I know he talks a lot, man. He says a lot about only fighting X amount of fights and all that shit. Listen, man, when there's millions and millions and millions of dollars, you're fighting. So it's an uphill climb, bro, fighting a dude like that. It's like when Lennox came here, and I think Lennox is 6'5". The worstest thing happened to people in the heavyweight division was when Lennox Lewis came to America and learned how to box. Because if you look at pre-Manuel Stewart Lennox, it's almost cookie cutter. He fought almost just like Anthony Joshua, giving up his like a small guy, a big guy fighting small. And when he came here and learned how to utilize his reach and his length and all that, be honest with you, the only time Lennox was beat was when he was slipping. When he was slipping, he wasn't in shape, So that a 6'9", God damn.
And then he moves like a freaking welterweight in that goddamn
He
ring.
sure do.
He goes across the ring. Yeah, man. That's a hard move to hit.
Yeah.
And people talk about, you remember, Manny, we was in the minority calling Fury by knockout, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was saying, man, Fury don't knock. I said, listen, man, 6'9", 265. If he didn't knock you out, it's because he's not trying to knock you out. If he's trying to knock you out, you ain't trying. You gotta go out and do something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the spectacle of that guy. You know,
200.
The boxing ability, and the way he, you know, told Deontay, I'm gonna walk down and knock you out. And he
did.
He went right across the ring and started pushing and shoving and punching. You know,
him and Terrence Crawford really for me had put two of the biggest performances on last year. Fury against Wilder, and then Crawford. Who did he fight when he got pissed off? And then he just turned it on. Yeah, that Russian turned it on his head, and he came out and he was boxing to start off with, and then he just turned it on and came out and just fucking punished him for the rest of the fight. And to me, that was impressive because he literally, you saw when he switched it and just became real fucking mean and beat that kid up. And I think those were two great performances last year. And it was last year, right? It wasn't this year. It was late 2019. Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
We got Coach Jaime. We got Coach Jaime asking Kenneth, who do you think who are your top trainers in the game?
Top trainers in the game. Well, you know, I might have to be biased, you know, with Coach Dwight and Coach Bobby and Aaron, Coach Aaron, you know. So, you know, but that's a lot of great coaches out there.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of the boxers is close and they be telling stories about their trainer, how they, you know, want perfection and they want them to be perfect and no, you got to do it like this. So it's a lot of great trainers out there.
Absolutely. Great answer, man. Always look after your people, man.
Well, we had two out of the three on the show. We had Coach Aaron and Coach Bobby on the show. We got to kick Coach Dwight down one day.
Yeah.
That I tell you, man, for me, and Coach ain't asked me, Coach Hyman should have said, ask Ray outside of his training, who do he think? Because I think he's talking about, you know, the out of the champions and shit, maybe. I know for me, man, I really, really like that Eddie Reynoso kid and Ben Davison, that English boy who had Fury prior to him working with the Crunk guy.
A young kid?
Huh?
The young one?
Yeah, man, he's like 25 years old, 26 years old. And I say that because I don't watch enough of it when they was building up the Fury Wilder fight, right? And Fury went with Sugar Hill Stewart. That's what I was trying to say. Fury didn't leave that kid. He just wanted to add Sugar Hill, and I think that kid finally just took up for himself. Like, man, look, you keep adding people. And I know it's for your benefit. This is all speculation. I don't know none of this. This is what I seen from the outside. And he's saying, hey, man, you keep adding to my fucking phone. You know, you added Freddie Roach to the first one. And now you're adding somebody else, man. I got to bring my family. And I respect that. And they still friends and shit. So I think he said, if you think you need Sugar Hill, go ahead and use him. And I'll take a step back. And he went, because he had my guy, Billy Joe Saunders on deck, and somebody else he was training. But watching the build up to those fights, right? There was a lot of Ben Davison over there in England that the English media was covering, and they kept taking him and he was explaining boxing and how he seen it. And he was like me, an open book. Like I can tell you what I see. That don't mean I'm teaching you shit. Still gotta teach you the shit. So I can tell you, man, and you go over there and get your ass whooped. And I think that's how Davidson looked at it. Like, hey, Fury's my guy. This is what I see. This is what he needs to do. And just listen to him talk. I'm like, damn, this kid is educated in boxing. I don't know how, and I don't know why. And he's only 26 years old, I think. But that shit is amazing to me. And you can find those clips, those coaches tracks where, especially in England, man, they film that shit. They film the corner in between rounds. They film in the corner so they can show the people what the coaches and shit saying. And I've seen them excited, but never like rattling. You know what I'm saying? Even when Wilder clip Fury and what was that, 11 round, 12 round? That first thing?
Yeah, the 12.
Like he got excited, like, oh fuck. But he didn't panic. You know what I'm saying? When he got him back to the corner, he calmed him down, calmed the situation down. Like, who trained this kid to be a trainer? That's what I want to know. Because
he's a kid.
Because he's doing that shit like he's a fucking like he's been in the game 20, 30 years, man. Yes. And just me with my coaching eye, man. I like Ben Davidson, and of course Ed Reynoso. I mean, look at Ryan Garcia, man. I know if you're not a trainer, you may don't see it. Some boxers probably do and some don't. The impact he's made on Ryan Garcia in a fight, 2 fights.
Talking about the Ryan Garcia coach?
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia? He's a good coach.
He's with Canelo's guy now. Yeah.
Canelo guy. Yeah, he's a good coach.
I think those two guys are probably the next big, that's gonna end up being around forever. Fit them slots of Manny Stewart and all them boys who are legends and great. I think those two guys are probably got the best probability of falling it short of life changing shit. But
I'm still a big fan of Robert Garcia. What do you? I don't think. I think he's still. I don't think he falls into like that old boxing.
No.
I think he's more. I think he's still in the middle of his career, and I think he still has
me and Robert Garcia and me the same age, bro.
Yeah. I like Robert Garcia. He's one of my favorites.
I'm a Robert Garcia fan, man.
Me too.
It really is a holdover of my affinity for my guy, Vargas. I was a Vargas guy in the 90s.
Hey, you think what did it ever come out? Because I saw last night I was on Facebook and I was Golden Boy put on the De La Hoya Vargas fight, and I was watching it, and did he ever come out that he tested positive for steroids?
Who?
Vargas.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
After that fight? Yeah, because that motherfucker. Now
I don't know if it was steroids or what. I don't know the PED shit. I don't know what's what. But yeah, he got popped.
Yeah.
With Vargas, he already had like a very he had a box figure, I think. So, but when I saw that fight last night, the motherfucker looked cut up, and he was cut. My question is, are those steroids going to make you? Are they going to affect your boxing skills? Are they going to make you slower? Are they going to make you? What do you think? As far as because you're putting on muscle's always going to slow you down a bit.
It makes I believe it makes you. It gives you more endurance. It makes you stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes you more like wide up. So just imagine a Wilder or Fury
on steroids.
Or Canelo, like on steroids during the fight. Just imagine.
Yeah.
I'm really not qualified to speak on PDs and steroids and shit. I'm really not, because I just don't know shit about it. But and I'm against it and all that. You know, I'm against it.
I'm against it too. Yeah.
But from what I see and what the little bit I have read and watch Victor Conte on his interview with that young lady from I'm sorry, man. I know your name and everything. Goddamn, I'm tripping on the podcast. She interviewed Victor Conte, who Sugar Shane and all them was using when it was cheap.
Oh yeah.
And the thing was, listening to him talk, it's like, you know, old school guys. Like, I'm only 43, bro, but I was born into the boxing, so I'm very old thinking, right? And even my own fighter got to teach me certain shit. Like, he went up to Colorado Springs one certain day. He come on, coach, man, this is what we're doing because this, and this. And I pride myself on being open-minded to it, right? I pride myself on saying, well, let me see. Shit, what's happening? And listening to him talk, man, it's almost like the PEDs, there's PEDs for specific things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a guy like me just always thought like Lau Alzada. He just stuck a needle in his arm, now he's Superman, right?
Right.
It's way deeper than that, man.
Yeah.
It's shit. It's PEDs to make you cut weight easier. It's PEDs just to make you stronger. It's PEDs to gain size. It's PEDs to cut size. It's PEDs for every fucking thing.
It's like weed. They got different strands for the shit.
And so, and listening to him speak, he was like, dude, he was like, the difference that PEDs makes in a great athlete is phenomenal. And it's cheating. It's cheating to the max. And what happens is these guys learn about people cheating. And they so competitive, they just want an even playing field. Well, the even playing field is me cheating like you, because you cheat. And so it's really just a fucked up ass thing, man. And I watched that 30 for 30 on it's a good watch. Because I don't know shit about bicycle racing. But I watched what's the white boy from one all the life?
On ESPN?
The famous, the white guy who wins
Skip Bayless?
No, I'm talking about the actual.
Oh, you talking about Max? You talking about Max? Are you talking about Max?
No, not one of the announcers. The bicycle racer who had cancer.
Oh, Lance Armstrong.
Lance Armstrong. Yeah. They got a 30 for 30 on Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
And it's all about PEDs. And he's giving it up. You know, he done got pissed. He done had to pay money and everything. So he's like telling me. And that shit is ridiculous, bro. What the, like, he was blood doping and taking juice and shit. And he was like, he was the greatest thing since sliced bread in America.
He was winning everything. It was and people were in awe. They were fucking thinking he was supernatural and he motherfucker was on fucking steroids. I've had people approach me for as far back as I can remember with steroids, because I've always either been in the gym or whatever the case may be. And the two reasons why I've never taken it was three. One, because it's just it's illegal, but two, I was always afraid of what would happen when I got off, right? Because they talk about how you have to take it in cycles and stuff. And so I was always like, all right, I'll take it. But what happens when I cycle off or whatever? And I was always afraid of those side effects. And they would always say, well, if you cycle off, then you lose everything. And I'm like, well, what's the fucking point? Because I don't want to be taking this shit continually. And then two or three, the other reason why I never took them was because they say it makes you more aggressive and shit. So 10 years ago, I was already aggressive than a motherfucker. I didn't get any more aggressive than what I already was, man. But I was watching that fight last night with Vargas and De La Hoya, and I just felt like I wonder if it's even worth it if it taking the steroids to build you up, make you stronger, and then you get in the ring to fight, and it has a negative impact, whether it be make you a split second slower, whatever it may be, because he just didn't seem. And didn't he get knocked down in the first round with De La Hoya? It just didn't seem like he was ever in the fight. And when his abilities did come through, it just wasn't enough. I don't know. I would have liked to see him fight without.
I think Ken hit the nail on the head, along with Jalil's dad last week when he said, you still got to hit the fucking ball. The steroids ain't gonna let you hit the ball. It's gonna get over the fence. Now, this is what I'm saying. The steroids ain't gonna make you a fighter. Oh, he can fight now.
Yeah.
What it's gonna do is it's gonna make you stronger. And if you can land the shot, you'll probably hit harder. But I think you hit the nail on the head when you said the endurance. Because when I was watching, first of all, ignorant as I'm admitting, I don't know shit about the juice and shit, right? When I watched Alejandro Jimenez look like a fucking man against our girl from Baltimore, Franchine Cruz for her title fight. And then when she grabbed the mic after, it sounded like, like us, one of us three. I said, you can't change your fucking physiology. You can't change your fucking genetics, man, unless you fool with it. And that made me say this. I said that to say this.
What happened to the speaker?
Franchine punch Jimenez in the mouth all fucking night long. And she ate them shots like Pac-Man eating the ghost, you know what I'm saying? Just kept coming forward. And she wasn't skilled. You didn't sit there and go, damn, she's skilled. You said, damn, she's a big, strong, scary broad who don't seem to be affected by the shots. So when it came back that she had the juice and all that, I'm like, yeah, of course, look at her. She looks like a fucking dude. And so I think Ken hit the nail on the head when he said it's a cheat because you don't have the same endurance. I mean, you're not fatiguing like when I'm looking for my second win. You know that, Ken. I'm looking for my second win. I'm gassing, but I'm holding on, waiting for that adrenaline to pump in so I can move back. You ain't gotta wait for that shit. You stand in the sky. And that's dirty. That's dirty as can be in a fight. See, we're not hitting baseballs, we're not lifting dumbbells and shit, man. The object to the professional prize fight is to knock your ass up. That's the object. Now, guys who don't have no problem, they figured out, let me just outbox him. Let me just outbox a guy. But the object is to render you unconscious while you win this fucking fight. And if you got some shit that's giving you some superhuman, you don't get fatigued and shit, man, that damn near should be, you should go to jail for that shit, man. You hitting me in the head, man. And I'm ain't that a bitch?
Check your mic. Check your mic there.
Yeah, check your mic. They saying they can't hear you or something.
No, that's Coach Hyman. Yeah, I can hear you. That's Coach Hyman busting your balls, but there is something wrong with your mic. See, just plug it in or unplug it or get close to it.
I ain't got no mic.
Oh, there you go.
He's good. He's good.
All right, we're good now. Yeah, and the whole thing with what is it, Alejandra? That's her name, right? The whole thing with her. Listen, and it's not to bash her for whatever life decision she's making. And I don't even know like what her DNA is. I'm curious to that as far as what you were born, whether a man or a woman, and there's a lot of speculation behind that. But
them kids, they got kids. She birthed them kids.
I don't know. But here, listen.
Listen, man.
But, huh?
She used to be abroad, man. That was abroad, bro. She had kids and shit.
Well, whatever her life decisions is, we respect that. But on the point that Derek's making, yeah, I mean, you're in there competing with other women, and you are using drug enhancement. You're using enhancement drugs. You're putting these other women's lives in hands. There should absolutely be criminal charges or banned from the fucking sport of boxing. Now, if you're in there with other men, well, maybe we can excuse you you trying to get some kind of advantage or edge. But now, man, you're in here with other women training just like you training, and you putting on this massive amount of muscle and strength because of these drugs. That there should be zero tolerance, and just as it should be for men.
They say that wrong. They say that wrong.
I'm not buying it. I don't know. I want to see tests. I want to see proof.
Yeah, we got.
They say that wrong.
And I'll come out and apologize afterwards. But that shit's questionable, bro.
What's questionable?
How she look?
It's fucking juice.
Nah.
She changed her genetics, man. Bro,
I think she got a couple X's and O's in her chromosomes.
Look, fuck that. Listen, you all remember that time? I thought I was training that dude at the gym because he had a beard and shit. And then Jack said, Coach, you know that, right?
Hold on, let me do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Hey, bro, listen, man. When you start fucking with your chemistry, man, that shit goes everybody, bro. Dudes grow titties. Bros,
let me pull her up. What's her name? Alejandra. What's her name?
I don't know how to spell it. I can't always say this shit.
Alejandra
Jimenez, Tiger. Her name was Tiger or something. Yeah. But look, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I feel for these. When people like, and listen, I'm not even picking on that woman we talking about. Look, live your fucking life, man. However you want. You're a full grown adult. Do what you want to do. My gripe is, in my world, the boxing world, if you're cheating, it's a fucking problem.
Oh, look at this picture. All right, so you know what? Maybe I'm gonna retract my.
Bro, that's a woman, man. She had kids, bro.
Look.
But that's what you do when you pump up full of that shit, man. It's like, man, you ain't never ate wings from churches. Where they get them fucking wings from, bro? That ain't no wings, man. Them wings is way bigger than everybody's wings, man.
There she is.
Look at that.
Can y'all see it? So this is I guess this was pre-steroids.
Right. She went from feminine, softer features.
All right. Okay. I can buy
it. What I'm talking
about, bro. Let's see. Hold on. Let me pull up a better one. Let me see. Stop screen.
Jesus. She got an 8-pack.
There you go. Right. That's a better picture. Yeah. There she go. So that's her.
That's
a woman.
Yeah.
That's a woman, man. Look on the right.
Ms. Roslyn wants to change the subject. All right, Ms. Roslyn, I got you.
I think that's a woman.
Let's just move on.
Hey, mama knows.
I stand corrected.
My wife knows I'm fitting to say something very
uncomfortable. Don't do it. No,
that's why
look, when you see a picture like this, bro, it's. Hold on, let me pull this one up.
Mama knows what she me and the wife been married 20 years, man. She know when to correct me, man. I'm about to fuck up major,
man. See, look at that. See, when I see a picture like that, man, and maybe I'm wrong. What do you think? I got Yvonne is checking her out too. Yvonne, is that a man or a woman?
Look, man. Look, man.
I'll stop.
When you start fucking with chemistry, when you start fucking with body chemistry, think about this. And we gonna get off the subject. I ain't even talking about that girl anymore. I don't want to say
we're talking about steroids.
and then motherfuckers got picket signs at the gym and shit. Cause I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna walk outside and shit. But look, think about this. Us as men, think about you at 10 years old and you at 14. Your body chemistry changes, right? Mature. And shit starts changing. Well, they just doing that shit as adults, bro. They pumping themselves up full of some kind of hormone, be it feminine or masculine or whatever, and you change the shit, bro. You change the shit.
And it's funny how it has different effects. Like for men, it tells you it shrinks your fucking testicles and your
because you putting the shit that your testicles makes in your body.
In your body.
So your testicles quit working. They don't need to work no more because your body's leveling itself off. That's why when they dudes grow titties and shit, when they was doing steroids and come off the steroids because your body's not making the testosterone that you put in it. And then when you quit putting it in there, the estrogen it was making to level that shit out. Yeah. Now you get an overdose of estrogen. Now you growing titties and got a period and shit, man. Even I know that. And I don't know shit.
Even I know that.
Yep.
Who
man,
who you got your eyes on in your division, man? Was it like Cruiser, right?
Yeah, Cruiser. Whoever got the belts.
Who got
I don't know how to pronounce their name. They like
Russian.
Yeah, Russian. And
I was gonna talk about Paulie getting in trouble for the shit that he's saying.
The who?
Are we gonna?
This motherfucker went from sexism. We about to hit the racism.
Your eyes lit up.
Right. We gonna talk about religion next time.
I thought that shit was funny because he was making the comment to defend Haney. He was saying that ain't no racist shit. And then he went off and added some shit that got him fired, supposedly for being racist. I thought that was, to me, I equated that to like when Craig got fired on his day off. How the fuck you gonna get fired for saying? How you gonna get fired posting a comment saying something isn't racist, and then you get fired because they're saying that the comment that you made was racist? It's
as simple as this, man. It's as simple as this, and this is it's all no critical thinking. It's all emotions. And
this is what the whole culture. It's the whole fucking.
This is what you gotta understand. Yeah. And people pretend not to understand, or they're too emotional to hear this. Check this out. If we're going to pretend that there's not a double standard when it comes to those things, we're just pretending. But here's the caveat right here, though. What black folks is saying is, motherfucker, it's been a double standard forever. Yeah. Now you mad because we saying a double standard. Fuck you. That's the answer. Now. Because it's emotional. But if you look at it's like my wife says, Dad, I sit there and say Black Lives Matter, and all these people come telling me about this Black Lives Matter organization and shit. I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm talking about quit killing black folks disproportionately than you do everybody else. That's what I'm saying. I said, Mama, they understand that, or they don't want to understand it. And that's it. That's it. They understand black folks get shot by police, jail time, everything disproportionately to everybody else. When white people say when white people say, man, more white people are killed by cops. They are, but not percentage wise. The blacks get killed double percentage wise. When you fucking 70% of the population and they kill 100 of you, but you're 13% of the population and they kill 200 of you, the 13% feel like, motherfucker, you hurting us.
Yeah.
You hurting us down. Nobody needs to pretend like they don't understand this shit, man.
That's a fact.
And here's what I'm saying. If a person truly don't get it, right, then they'll listen to reason and they'll listen to the words I'm saying and say, I wasn't thinking like that. I didn't understand what you were saying at first. I get it now. And you getting those people. Look at all the white people that protesting and shit. They getting that. They saying
a lot of white people out
there. Oh yeah, man. If black folks don't get up there and say Black Lives Matter, it don't matter to nobody. So it's that simple, man. So anybody who wants to change the narrative, man, you know I say this all the time. Narrative changing motherfuckers are the worst, bro, because we can't get nothing done. So I'm saying, if my wife says Black Lives Matter, and you bring your own cross to bear at the argument saying, but Black Lives Matter is a Marxist and a socialist thing, sure enough, they got an organization called themselves Black Lives Matter. And I think most sane motherfuckers read what they for and be like, hey, wait a minute, I ain't for that. But my daughters, my black wife saying Black Lives Matter, she's making remarks on a black issue that is not being fixed. So she's saying this shit. Listen, I've never said Black Lives Matter. Like, you know why? Because not only do I think Black Lives don't matter, I think they showing us Black Lives don't matter. And I think a whole bunch of other motherfuckers don't matter. But I'll be damned if I sit here and see if Ken say, Coach, man, Black Lives Matter. You know what my answer to that is? As a black man's son, screaming to the fucking roof, because guess what? It sure seems like Black Lives don't matter to most people. And that's just what it is, bro. These people change the narrative and shit, man. You can't fucking change. It's like if I'm talking about whatever and a motherfucker brings up some shit out of left field. You're not dealing with what I'm talking about. You trying to change the shit to fit your company, man.
Well, I think listen, and this is something that I think we all face with different issues, and I think it's the state of where we are as a nation, that everyone wants to be right, and everyone wants to be right at the expense of the other person's opinion, right? So when you have someone saying, hey, Black Lives Matter, and then someone else comes up and says, no, all lives matter, or this, that, it's not that they're coming to, we gotta get to a place where we're coming to the table with an open mind, truly listening to what the other person is trying to communicate, because nothing's ever going to get accomplished or changed if all we're doing is coming to the table to prove the other person wrong and leave with me feeling, okay, well, I proved my point, I'm right, and fuck whatever they're talking about or however they're feeling.
Man,
I'll get on Facebook and I'll have conversations, whether it's Black Lives Matter, whether it's what's going on with the Republicans and Democrats, whether it's talking about sex trafficking, or whether it's talking about whatever drugs and treatments are available. People just want to be right, but they don't want to do what the right thing is, right? And so
man,
to bring it back, yeah.
Let me explain something, man. People are scared to death of being uncomfortable. Listen, man. When a motherfucker says they wanna make bathrooms male and female, right? Yeah. And people blow it out their mind, right? People say, "Well, that's my kids." I'm sorry, you're gonna have to talk to your kids now. I'm sorry. But guess what? It's your fucking kids, man. It's not my kids, bro. So have that conversation with your fucking daughter. Baby girl, mama's gonna go with you to the bathroom just in case it's a dude in there who thinks he's a fucking girl. That's just a conversation. Now, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry people don't want to talk about race. Listen, race is real. That shit's a real thing.
It's real.
Slavery and all the black issues, all that shit's real, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel bad about it. I'm sorry you don't want to talk about it. But it's fucking real, man. People don't want to be uncomfortable, bro. And me, I live in the uncomfortable. You know that? That don't make me think I'm right about it. I don't think I'm right. I want to learn too. But I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to talk about the shit. Let's talk about it. Because unless you talk about it, bro, there's no progress. There's no fucking progress, man, about anything. About police problems. Listen, as a white man who's been on the wrong side of the tracks in my early life, who's been a victim of police brutality, and to be honest with you, probably deserves some of the ass from the folks. But check this out. That's my experience. It's real. I can't even get the majority of people to agree a law enforcement problem exists, let alone by the time I can say the black side disproportionate towards the white side, towards the Hispanic side. You know what I'm saying? We can't even get to that level because I can't even get these motherfuckers to agree that policeman murdered that unarmed American on video. And you can't even say that. You sitting there going, well, what the fuck did he do? What the fuck did he didn't try to kill that police? You want to try to kill the police? I know that. I can see it. Hey man, it's all about uncomfortable. And I'm gonna tell you something. Maybe I know that. Maybe I know that because my Paul said a fighter has to train uncomfortably in order to be uncomfortable in that ring. A fighter has to face adversity to see who he really is. Because when the chips are down, when your back ain't against the wall, it's easy to beat a motherfucker up. It's easy to talk that shit about you the baddest man on the planet. I can't be touched. But when somebody got their whole size weapon foot in your ass, now we about to if you're a real fighter or not, man. And guess what? A lot of people become world champions who never had that realization yet. And then we see it live on TV. We see a motherfucker break at the first sign of adversity, man. So if we can't have that conversation, man, this is my thing. And Manny, you know this. Man, just get the fuck out of the way, man. We got time we try to get it right. If you don't want to deal with the problem, just get the fuck out of the way, man. Point blank. Point blank is big.
Lead or follow. So what you're saying is Paulie was rightly fired?
Not only was Paulie fucked over. What he said was true.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking. That's how this whole thing got started.
Check this out.
That's how who he likes in his division. The Russians got the title, right? Because the motherfuckers are Russian.
Yeah, they bring him to me. I'm gonna knock his ass out.
There you go.
Haney says on a podcast on a video called like Ken and Us right now.
Yeah.
Black fella says, "What you do with Lomachenko?" Haney says, "What every black kid I grew up with in a predominantly black area as a kid growing up on a basketball court, in a boxing ring, on a football field." He said the same. I never let that white boy get me. Guess what? As a white man, I giggled my fucking ass off because I said he's still young and mind frame, but that's good. That's probably why he's a woman. Is it racist? If you want to call it racist, whatever. But do I think he was racist? Fuck no. I think he said what we all go through on the fucking playground. He was just saying what the fuck he said. And all Paulie said was, I don't think what Haney said was racist. I just think it was dumb if we can talk about race because the Eastern Europeans been taking over boxing. Bruh, the Eastern Europeans been taking over boxing.
Yeah,
they've been taking over. That's why we need to get that back.
you know, and it's not even,
they
and it's not even. See, even when you say it like that, taking over, they ain't taking. It's not a matter of taking over. It's just they're kicking ass right now. They
well,
got you know.
Believe Paulie used Eastern European.
Yeah.
What he's saying is white. He's saying white people can't fight, but these white boys are making noise from the Eastern Europe. That's all.
They've been on their stuff like
you got
UK,
Russian.
They've been on their stuff.
Man,
we've been talking about it, man. Since about 2 years. How long we've had the show? At least 2 years, huh?
Yeah.
And from the jump, you've been asking, how are these guys over there in
Europe
learning our boxing from over here? So it ain't. First of all, it ain't like it's something new, and second of all, it's not like it's not true.
Nah, it's very true. They got the right people that's backing them and believing in them.
Man, can you imagine motherfucker telling me, Coach, Ken, after the show, was mad because you said what Paulie said was true. I need you to go publicly and apologize to Ken. Can you imagine what the fuck I would say? If my mom would have told me, oh, you're out your fucking mind. Because guess what? The color part of it didn't come into play. I've been seeing European motherfuckers be taking it, and I want to take it back. But the difference is, when I look at Kenneth Allen, you know what I see? He's an American. I'm an American. And he's a boxer. I'm a boxer trained. When I see you, you're a Latino, a Mexican American who's in boxing, who fights amateur, who owns a gym. I'm a trainer. Ken's a fighter. Us three are on the same fucking team. Hey, I want to take the shit back.
Yeah.
Let's get fucking titles back, man. But, and I'm not going to apologize for that shit. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Listen. I never was a fan of Triple G. I ain't no fan of none of them dudes. Why? Because I think in terms of this is our sport, we supposed to bring these fucking titles here. Now,
and it's no different. It's no different than when we're talking about people don't get all fucking sensitive when we talk about fucking Britain, when we talk about how we're gonna bring the title back to the USA, or
not only that,
or how
man, listen to them English motherfuckers, man. They talking about America. Them English motherfuckers don't like us either in sports. You know, some of my best friends are English. Nah, get the fuck out of here. I don't know. Listen, that is just nationalism from sport, right? That's all. They said when Earl was fighting in the UK, when he went for what's my guy, Ken? When he won his championship.
Which one?
The one who took the title from Sean Porter. The English guy, the black guy.
Sean Porter.
The dude Earl Spence beat for the title. Kell Brook. Man, I seen the interview where EJ said they was chucking change like quarters, $half pieces at him walking through the ring.
At Errol Spence?
Yeah. Talking about how rowdy.
Yeah. They take that shit serious.
Well, guess what? I'm the same fucking rowdy. So
exactly.
I don't think I'll choke shit at a fighter, but you know what I mean. I'm still saying we need to win this shit. We need to win this shit.
Absolutely.
And guess what? Why I'm an Earl Spence fan, besides him being a Texan, because Earl, we got our fucking titles back from across that water, man. That's all it is, man. And people gonna pretend like they don't. Man, get the fuck out of here. Who's more nationalistic than the Hispanic boxing community?
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
Puerto Ricans, fucking Mexican, you know, the Latino, they proud of their fucking country. They want to bring that shit home.
And it's just, but it just goes back. It goes back to part of the politically correct culture. I mean, the cancel culture that we live in. But listen, Paulie, if you're listening, we go ahead.
I fuck with Paulie.
We'll bring you.
Never a fan of Paulie's boxing.
Yeah, but his commentary is great.
I think he was one of the best fucking commentators because he actually knew what the fuck he was talking about. And guess what? Paulie don't like my favorite guy. Paulie shits on Canelo every time you ask him about Canelo. But guess what? I'm fine with that. That don't make me uncomfortable. You still the best fucking commentator in the business. And I'm gonna say this too. I'm kind of proud of him, bro.
Yeah, I'm not apologizing.
Fuck them people, man. I'm not finna apologize for something you making it like I said. That ain't what I was saying, man. Fuck
that was the Italian, huh? That was the Italian in them.
Yeah. And I'm Irish. Paul is Italian, and we're mortal enemies just by birth. Hey, I'm proud of him, man. He stood to his guns, man. He stood to his guns, bro. And guess what? I'm not trying to overlook the racial part. I get the racial part. I get that Devin Haney said he won't let a white guy beat him. I get that Paul is Italian American, and said Eastern European meaning white. I get that. I'm not scared of that shit. We can talk about it all you want. Matter of fact, first thing Q told me when he would come home from international fights. Coach, Europeans, man. Fuck. You know, just the truth, bro. And shout out to my dude, Tim. You know Tim, man, the Kazakh brother who trains fighters here, man. Because me and him hit it off. You know why? Because he knew boxing. And I could see it. I could see he was developing pugilists. He was turning guys into real fighters. So we got that in common, man. That's foreigner like a motherfucker, man. We need to chill out, bro. We starting to become, man, we softer than warm cookies, bro, in America, bro. That shit is bad, bro. That shit is bad, man. And I tell everybody, don't you want to know if a guy is really a racist, right? Don't you want to know that shit? I don't want you to hide that shit. I want to know that shit so I can fuck over you if you come over here with me. Hey, bro, we wet tissue soft, bro.
Yeah.
We wet tissue soft all of a sudden, man. And it's under the guise of acceptable. Listen, it ain't for me to accept you. It's for me to not violate your rights as a person, and you not violate mine. Everything else, if it makes you uncomfortable, I'm sorry. You just gotta deal with it, man. You just gotta deal with it, bro. You gotta have them uncomfortable conversations, man. Point blank.
All right, man. Let's get back to boxing. Kenneth, give us your what we're gonna do? Top 3, top 5 pound for pound right now.
Ever or right now? Ever or right now?
Right now.
Canelo.
Number 1.
Terrence Crawford. Fury.
That's your top 3 right there. That's good right there.
You got them all right. You got them all. You nailed all of them.
Jesus. Man.
Jesus in there. Yeah, I think he's taking any weight class neither.
He said Jesus. Yeah.
Who's the other two? Man, I still put Wilder in there. Wilder lost to the best fighter in the game. That's Fury. So I still put Wilder in there. My fifth. I'll go with Errol Spence.
Yeah, I don't think Earl, because he got an erection, she's supposed to lose his position. I mean, he was the top dog. He should still have the top dog till he loses it in the ring, you know. You can't hardly take it from him. I probably would switch out Lomachenko for Wilder, and that'd be my 5. But all 5 of those guys is the top dogs.
You could definitely do that easily.
I'm ready to see Errol Spence fight. And I want to see how he comes back from this accident.
He looking good.
I'm rooting for him. I know they're throwing a lot of shots at each other on social media. Him and Crawford. Hopefully that fight can happen soon too. I would have to go. I don't know.
Hey, what y'all think?
Fucking mean, man.
I be asking all my boxing peers, man, and they say Terrence Crawford's just unbeatable.
Yeah.
I be like, man, because I be having like the little guys. They be telling me like, man, look, I spar with both of them guys. You can't beat Terrence Crawford. Like he's just too good. I be like, but Errol Spence, he hit hard. Like he just can't. He can't beat him. I just be like, I don't know. That'd be a tough fight.
That's the beautiful thing about our sport, bro. Is this? It's always a yin and a yang, man. You could sit there and talk about a specific fighter. It isn't fundamentally sound, and it may be true, and then he clips the guy who's a way better boxer, and he clips him and puts him to sleep. So that's what's beautiful about the sport, man, is that anything can happen at any given moment, and you just gotta say these top guys to win on any given night, man. And I tell you, Earl's taking they announced it. Earl's taking a dangerous ass comeback after that. Regardless if you feel like Danny done slipped a little bit or he quit fighting a certain way and all that. I was a Danny Garcia fan, and I still am. I'm gonna be rooting for Earl, but man, if
it's not only the fact that he's coming back from the accident that just makes it a dangerous fight. It's that fucking hook that Danny Garcia that makes it a fucking dangerous fight because we don't know how that eye is, and if he catches one of them fucking deadly hooks, it's night.
Listen, man, Earl ain't tripping. I look at it two ways. Either Earl, just a competitor, says, man, I don't want no cream puffs. Give me whatever. Or he's a little bit more hurt than we know, so they got to make all the money they can make. There's two ways to look at that. There's two ways to look at that. So I'm gonna sit back and enjoy watching. I'm gonna root for the Texas guy, and I'm gonna try to root him on in, bro. And I want him to be 1,000% back to normal, so that when him and Bud get in there is no excuses, man, and there is no, this, that, and the third. Which specific fans gonna make excuses anyway. I mean,
no matter what.
Look at the Wilder fans. They can't accept 2 fights of ass whooping. They come up with every reason.
Wait a minute, Kenneth, are you a glove gate guy? You think them gloves were?
No, I'm a get the job done by any means type guy. So that's no excuse. He got his ass whooped, and that's my guy. But you got your ass whooped. It's no excuses about nothing.
There you go.
You're supposed to handle your business.
The fans are always gonna have conspiracy theory. The fans are always gonna have the. Regis told me. Regis said, Coach, as an elite fighter, it's almost you got to have a reason why you lost, right? As a fighter, I said you're right. I said because as a trainer, I teach my guys, listen, this is how you fight, and if you're slipping, you get beat. So it's imperative to know, okay, I got beat because of the mistakes I made, not this guy. So me and Regis, we agree the same philosophy. The only difference being is I'm a realist, and if I was Wilder's trainer, which clearly he don't pay attention to them. If I'm Wilder's trainer, I would say, son, shut the fuck up about the suit and the gloves and shit. Not that he even said. He said the suit. I don't think he said anything about the gloves. But Deontay Wilder could make a fucking Instagram post right now and tell his hordes of fucking fans, guys, I had an off night, bro. I'm coming back. I'm gonna try to get this motherfucker out of here with that right hand. he can say that. And I think it's important that he does understand that if he really wants to try to win. I don't think he can win short of landing the shot. We all know if he lands the shot, that's a wrap. But he just don't have the boxing mechanics and understanding to make the adjustments. To me, I could be wrong. He could land that sledgehammer and it's over with and a wrap. Who the fuck knows? But as a pure boxing guy, I got to look at like football players say, man. I got to look at the X's and the O's, and it don't match up. The Wilder team don't match up good with the Fury teams. 9 times out of 9.
No, don't.
So, you know, the fighters got to have an understanding of why he lost. It's just, it can't be make-believe because you're going to get back in that ring and you're going to get in your ass kicked again. And you'll remember why you was losing them other fights. So how you supposed to fix it if you're not in the gym fixing it?
Well, Kenneth, we appreciate you coming in. So what are we looking at as far as your next fight?
September 12th.
And where's this at? In Texas? Or
I believe so. If it's not in Houston, it's going to be in New Orleans.
Okay, bet. And then where can people follow you at?
Yeah, at R Allen Z.
And on
R
Facebook,
Allen Z on Instagram. Yeah, on Instagram.
R Allen G.
R Allen Z.
Oh, Z. Nice.
Yeah, R Allen Z.
Well, my man, we appreciate you coming on today, man. Taking the time, telling us your story, your background. We are excited to see your upcoming fight. Send us a reminder that week. We can post it and share it as well. Anything else you want to tell everyone before we cut out?
Yeah, man, I really appreciate y'all, and I thank y'all, man.
Yeah,
thank y'all for your time, and I appreciate y'all.
My man,
you coming on, Coach. Any last words?
I'm good. I'm about to say my life lessons, but I'm gonna say that for another time.
All right, I got you.
All right, Facebook.
Thank you, man. I appreciate y'all.
Instagram, YouTube, man. We appreciate you guys tuning in once again. Please make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And shit, how much time? Earl, fuck, we apologize. Our apologies to Earl Spence. Kenneth took all your time today. We're going to have to catch you on the next show, brother.
And you know what? He had messaged me. He said, Coach, I'm about to tell y'all if I'm really hurt or not. But we ran out of time, man.
Hope you enjoyed your donuts backstage. All right, y'all. We'll get y'all next time.
Peace. All right, peace, man.
Go.